All right, welcome back to East Texas Now. My name is Hannah Fletcher, and let's get into a story just into our newsroom here on East Texas Now. A Jefferson man found guilty of sex trafficking in a federal courtroom in Tyler just earlier today. Now, a jury found Corey Lamar Johnson, 42 years old, guilty of 2 counts of sex trafficking, conspiracy to commit sex trafficking, obstruction of sex trafficking investigation, 3 counts of interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, and conspiracy to violate the Travel Act. I'm going to pull up his image now so you can see it. Here you go. Prosecutors say that the victims were found in prostitution, which occurred at hotels and motels in Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, New York, and California. Now, the state showed receipts of hotel room bookings in his name, including a stay here in Tyler in 2020. Now, threats of violence were also used against the victims by Johnson, that's according to officials, and at least 2 of his victims testified in court. Now, according to a statement released by the U.S. Attorney's Office, evidence presented at the trial showed that Johnson trafficked young women across the United States and compelled them to engage in commercial sex through force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion. Johnson recruited vulnerable young women through social media posts that boasted of his lavish lifestyle. He promised the victims he would recruited that they could also achieve such a lifestyle if they were to join him. Once they were recruited, Johnson introduced the victims to commercial sex, and then when the victims wanted to leave him, he would become violent, using force and threats and brandishing firearms and bragging about having beat a murder charge. All of this to keep the victims engaged in commercial sex for his profit. That's according to the statement, again, that they released. Now, the maximum sentence Johnson could face is a minimum of 15 years and a maximum sentence of life in prison, as well as mandatory restitution. The sentencing has not yet been decided and will be determined by the court based on the advisory sentencing guidelines and the other statutory factors. The statement said that a sentencing hearing will be scheduled after the completion of a pre-sentence investigation by the U.S. Probation Office. And of course, that is something we'll continue to watch and maintain here on East Texas Now and keep you updated accordingly.